Hey everybody, just a quick reminder, it is November, it is our fall fundraiser for Toys for Tots. For more information on that, click the link above my head, or wait until after the video for more information. Hello everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. Today we are taking a look at something that I've been sitting on for a while now. If you watch the channel, then you know I've had this for probably about 3 weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks at this point. So go ahead and leave us a like, because we are finally taking a look at the G.I.Joe Classified Series Action Pilot Halo Jumper. I love these 60th anniversary figures, and I am very, very excited that they are continuing this trend, continuing this line with the first responders as part of the 60th anniversary line. We've seen the fireman that is coming out. No doubt there's going to be a paramedic or a medic of some type, probably a police officer of some type. I can't wait until we get the rest of these, and I really hope this is a line that continues into 2025. I would really like to see action figures that are sort of like a throwback to the origins of G.I. Joe, when they were 12-inch figures that were based off of real-life soldiers, real-life first responders, policemen, paramedics, things like that. I would love to see this line continue. I have one left that is going to be coming of the original line. I'm still waiting for my Marine Sniper, but we've already taken a look at the diver and the soldier. Now we have the Halo Jumper. And just like with the other two, we have a very large window box where you can see all of the bits and bobs, all of the kibble that they come with. We have a decent image of the Halo Jumper here on the side, the 60th anniversary, 1964 to 2024, 60 years of G.I. Joe. Can you believe that? The G.I. Joe Classified logo, everything up front that you would need to see. Up top, 60th anniversary G.I. Joe logo, more window box to let the light come down. On the bottom, legal and barcode. On the side, we have a decent shot of that same image of the Halo Jumper. On the back, we have a great product shot of them. Sky Striker in the background, conning tower. I can't tell if that's supposed to be the flag or just an airfield. I'm guessing since it's Air Force, it's just an airfield. We have some highlights of the figure right here. And then on this side, we have that QR code along with an image of the figure with the parachute out. Now, I had originally wanted to do a video of this and then like chuck the Halo Jumper out a window to see how the parachute works. However, today is a rainy day, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to throw him out a window to see if the parachute works or not. Time of recording, we have a real bad rainstorm blowing through right now, so that may be something that we'll have to do later. Maybe I'll make that into a short, who knows. But, you know what? Without further ado, let's just get this open and let's take a look at the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series 60th Anniversary Action Pilot Halo Jumper. And if you want one of your own, you can get him at Entertainment Earth. Entertainment Earth is your one-stop shop for all toys, clothing, collectibles, and more. Get the newest from Hasbro, Mattel, Bandai, and Super 7, as well as exclusives that can't be found anywhere else. With over 25 years in the business, Entertainment Earth has what you want. Click the link in the description below. Okay, here is our Action Pilot Halo Jumper out of the box, and putting the tape measure to him, we can see that he's pretty much 6 1/4 inches tall to the top of his head. Okay, so let's get this out of the way right off the bat. Our Action Pilot Halo Jumper is basically complete reuse of Airborne. From top of the head to bottom of the foot, this is Airborne with a different paint job. As a matter of fact, I am fairly certain that even though the paint deco is drastically different, that the head sculpt is exactly the same. You can tell it mostly in the jaw lines and the hairdo that this pretty much is a reissue of Airborne with a camo paint deco on it. I'm not sure I have a problem with that. The 60th anniversary figures to a point have pretty much been reuse of other figures, repaints, things like that. However, they at least had a new head sculpt, and that is what's disappointing the most, that they didn't bother with a new head sculpt with this one. The body being reused, the accessories being reused, because basically once we get a look at this, this is pretty much a reuse of Airborne with bits and bobs from Ripcord that's coming with the Dragonfly. Time of recording, my Dragonfly has still not arrived. I'm a little upset about that. It's supposed to be shipping soon, so hopefully we'll be taking a look at that before the end of the month. But they could have really gone the extra mile and given our Halo jumper here a new head sculpt. Having said that, I do dig the paint job. I like the camo look. I really do. I liked it when Valaverse did this full camo deco with their sniper blowback. I do think Valaverse did a better job with the camo face paint than Hasbro has right here. I mean, this is basically just green with some brown and some black thrown into it. The Valaverse sniper blowback really looked like a camo face paint, or I don't know, maybe it just looked better because there was more camo to it, and maybe this is more realistic of what a Halo jumper or what like someone in the armed forces would do. I don't know. All I know is that I think the blowback version looked a little better. Airborne's gear looks good in this green. His vest was blue, as you just saw, with some brown thrown in here. But like with his web gear here, having this green to match the jumpsuit and the camo of the jumpsuit, I dig this. It looks good. I don't have a problem they reused the buck, that they reused some of the gear. I mean, if it fits the character, if it fits the role, it fits the role. One thing we have that's new is this wrist piece right here, which I'm not doubting is going to be on Ripcord when he shows up. That at first when I saw it in the box, I thought this was like a wrist altimeter so that he knew what his altitude was before he pulled the ripcord. It's a compass. It's a big fancy compass. So I dig when they put little things like this on here. I really do. I really like that. It's a bit chunky on his wrist, but at least it's not his weapon wielding hand, unless you make him a lefty. But you can, if you want to, let's pop his wrist off here. You see it does come off, so you could take it off of him completely, put it on a different figure if you wanted to. You could swap his wrists if you wanted to. So I like that. I like these little extra pieces, these little things. Like I said, I'm betting we're going to get that with Ripcord as well. Let's get it back on there. It doesn't really fit over the wrist piece very well. You just have to sort of trap it between the wrist of the arm piece and the hand plugging in. But let me try something here. Hold on. I feel like I should be able to get this on better. Yeah, there we go. You just have to stretch it a little to get it around there, and then you can push the wrist back on. My mistake. There we go. More secure. Gets the wrist in there better. Now, speaking of getting the wrist in there better, let's take a look at the articulation, which, if you saw my video for Airborne, you probably know what to expect. It's going to be exactly the same. Head will do a full 360 spin. He can look up okay. He can look down okay. He has that dumbbell joint that if you watch a video I have coming Wednesday, there's a figure that has the old style ball joint on a hinge. I really prefer that over this, but this is what they're doing now. Arms will do a full 360. A little tight, you can hear that creaking. Arms will come up well past 90, really dig that. Has the butterfly joint, but there's not a whole lot of movement. And I don't think it's hampered by his vest here. I just think that's the cut. There's not a whole lot of travel in the butterfly joint. We have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows with some decent travel to them, wrists swivel. This wrist hinges in and out. His right hand, his weapon wielding hand, hinges up and down. This sticks a little because the cuff of his uniform, of his jumpsuit, does get in the way a bit. Let's get his arms up and out of the way. that he does have a ball joint at the waist, that he can do some waist swivel, but his gear, his web gear here gets in the way and doesn't let him do like a full 360 turn, because this is all one piece from the legs to the crotch up to the vest. It doesn't really interfere with him crunching forward though, nor does it interferes a little with him crunching back, because you have pull going on right here. If you look on the back, there's nothing holding him here. There is a figure that I have, and I forget what it is, that had a setup like this, that these pegs were cut and just extended so they tucked up under the vest so that there was no pull on it whenever he would go back or whenever he would try and turn. I wish that they would have done something like that with this. I can't remember what figure that was. I feel like that was a Marvel Legends figure of some kind, but I wish they would have done something like that with this. We do have the drop down hips, as you can see, that even with the gear on, the legs will come up to 90. They'll go back that far. Once again, even with the gear on, they will come out to the side at 90 very well. We have a thigh cut that is a little hampered by the gear, that you it's a little mobile because all it is this one piece. It can get a little wonky, that you might have to reset it. Knees so tight, but great travel right in there, especially for as baggy as the pants are. Now, there's no boot cut in the leg, but we do have a swivel here at the ankle, just like with Airborne. The ankles will rock back, the ankles will rock forward very well, and we have a forward-facing pin for some rocker. We also have some great detail on the bottom of the boots right here. I really dig that. Also wanted to draw attention to, there are some things that the paint deco, I don't know what that is supposed to be. On Airborne, you can see it's a patch with the American flag on it. I'm not sure what that is supposed to, I'm not sure what that is supposed to be in there, or if they just blacked it out and it's not supposed to be anything. I do really like the camo paint job on here. We have this leaf right here. I don't know what that means. If anybody can educate me on what the leaf means, please, by all means, tell me. Because there's also some numbers underneath there that I can't make out. It might come through in the editing better, but right now I can't make it out. Don't know what the leaf means. If you know what it means, please let me know. And then we have the American flag on his shoulder over here. Like all of the 60th anniversary figures, the Halo jumper comes with a lot of accessories, and we're going to take a look at them. Like I said, we have a lot of accessories that came with Airborne. We have a great deal that are going to come with Ripcord. And the first thing we're going to take a look at is this pistol, and this came with Airborne initially, and you can see he still has the holster on his hip where he can holster this piece. And I'm not sure what this is. I'm not sure if this is based off of a real pistol. It doesn't look like anything I've seen before. As a matter of fact, with this little stem sticking out, it kind of resembles a pistol with the action kicked open, like the magazine ran dry and the action just kicked open and he needs to reload. On Airborne's version, and let me bring Airborne in real fast, that he has this pistol, but this stem is for what Hasbro is considering a suppressor, but it's actually the barrel shroud from his rifle, that you could put that on the pistol as sort of a suppressor. The Halo jumper does come with a suppressor, and we'll look at that in a minute, but he doesn't come with one for the pistol. So that whenever you holster this right here, whenever you holster that, and it does have a good fit, fits in there tight, you still have this open slot right here, and there's no suppressor to go in there, because the suppressor that he does come with, once again, we'll look at it in a minute, it doesn't fit in there, it's too big. Something else that he comes with that is a harkening back to Airborne is his knife right here. Is his knife, and this is exactly the same knife that we got with Airborne, molded in exactly the same plastic. Has a little bit of a grip, has a little bit of a handle, or I mean a little bit of a blade, kind of tapered, not really angled to make it look like it has an edge. It's not bad. I don't hate it. It's not the best that they've done, but this fits into the chest sheath right there. Love a good upside down vest sheath for a dagger. So next up, we have more harkening back to Airborne, and that is the covered goggles and the helmet setup. Now, once again, this is exactly the same helmet that Airborne has. I don't think I have Airborne's helmet. Oh, wait, yes, I do. Right here, this pale green, or this monotone green with the same color goggles covered up. Always loved that. That is a throwback to the vintage figure. I like the color. I like the look of it. However, this looks cooler with the two-tone paint job, the darker helmet, the lighter green on the earpieces right here. Also, the goggles stand out a little bit better against that two-tone green. And they're a little stiffer, but you can get them on there. Okay, what I'm thinking of doing actually is taking these goggles off, putting them on this helmet, so that we have a little bit more contrast, a little bit more coloring, and then we take this and we pop this on Airborne. And he just has a little bit more color, a little bit more pop. Oh, these goggles are getting loose. And there we go. I know it's not the vintage coloring, it's not exactly the vintage look, but I don't know, there's something I like about it. I like the contrasting colors. I think there's a little bit more pop there. I think that looks really cool for Airborne. And the other reason we can give that to Airborne is because our Halo jumper comes with a flight helmet and oxygen tank from what I'm assuming is going to be Ripcord. So let's get Airborne out of the way and let's take a look at this helmet. That first of all, this helmet is really big on our jumper's noggin, but it's supposed to be big, and the visor doesn't really come down well over the nose piece, but it's not supposed to, because we also have this oxygen tank right here that we can clip this mask on like so. And then once we do that, this will attach to his backpack once we take a look at it. But once we do that and we bring the visor down, he has pretty much an enclosed faceplate. That looks awesome. That looks really cool, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for my Ripcord figure, but that looks really cool. So since he's going to be a Halo jumper, odds are I'm going to leave this helmet on him, which means I can leave this helmet to Airborne. So let's set him down for now. A couple of other things that I almost forgot is that we do have these pieces that can attach to the helmet, to the other helmet, that they just plug in right here. Those are like the night vision eyepieces we've seen with other figures. I believe this came with one of the Night Force. I forget which one, but we have that. We also have uncovered goggles that you can use to slip around their heads and put underneath the helmets. With Airborne, though, I think I'm going to keep those goggles there. Now, before we get to his parachute, I want to take a look at the weapons that he comes with, not just the sidearm. That I don't know how a lot of people feel about this, but I really like these weapons. That I believe we first saw these with the Viper 3-pack, and then they came with the Steel Core 2-pack, and now we're seeing them coming with various other G.I. Joe and Cobra figures. As a matter of fact, I think these are going to be the weapons of choice for the Vipers in the retro card back, and I really like these. The main reason I like these is because you can see from the smallest to the largest that, or maybe this is the way it should go, smallest to the largest, you can see that it's basically the same weapon. They're all the same weapons, that they sort of have like this modular weapon design, that if you take this small one and you lay it over top of either one of the other ones, you can see how everything starts with this as a base, and then they slap a stock on it, they slap a longer barrel on it, and they get rid of the iron sights, they put a scope on it, or they slap a stock on it, they put an underslung grenade launcher on with a longer one, with a longer barrel. I really dig that. And what we also have is the suppressor right here that I was talking about, that because this is a pegged suppressor, this won't fit into the pistol of the Halo jumper, nor does it fit into the well, what would normally hold the suppressor on the pistol sheath or pistol holster. So that is right out. But I really like this. I think this is great for G.I. Joe. It gives them, and I don't mean just the line, I mean like as the team in general, it gives them the look that they have their own specialized weapons. You can put this suppressor on pretty much any of the weapons here. Although truthfully, the one that I like it on best is either putting it on the stripped down submachine gun variant right here. That this variant is actually what I gave to Tunnel Rat with a suppressor on it, so I dig that. Or I gave this to Shooter, that with the suppressor on it and the long barrel, it sort of becomes a marksman's rifle, and this is what Shooter is carrying around now. So I really like the modular looking design of this. Also, all of the magazines across all three weapons are the same. So that just furthers like the whole mix and match of like this modular weapon system that they came up with for G.I. Joe. I really dig this. I wish more Joes started to come with these weapons. Like, I think Grunt would have looked great coming with something like this and the laser rifle instead of the admittedly dated M16, even if it is the M16A2. I think this would have been cool just to like make it, because he had the Steel Brigade helmet, or he had the Steel Corps helmet on. Like, giving him these, like, these are the weapons of the Steel Corps, that would have been really cool. I also wish Scarlet would have come with this instead of the M16 as well, since she came with this and the laser rifle. I'm glad whenever we get more of these, because these will be distributed among the Joes to just sort of like customize how they look, customize their loadouts. That's one of the fun things of collecting for me. So the Halo jumpers weapons here, they're going to get, you know, distributed. But I think his primary weapon is going to be this guy right here with maybe a suppressor on it. I'm not sure yet. Okay, here's our Halo jumper. Here's his shoot pack. Here's his shoot. It's a very soft, and you can hear, very like nylon piece of material. I dig the ribbing. I like the detail work they did in here. If you ever played with a parachute when you were in school, you know that they had this ribbing in here so that when it opened up, it would still hold form. I also like that they have the vent hole, the I don't know what that was actually called, but you know what I mean? Like, that was where the air escaped as the chute was coming down, so it wouldn't do one of these. We also have some twine down here, some roping with one... comes down to one piece. This is a soft piece. Oh, sorry. This is a soft piece of nylon. And it feels like a piece of plastic in the ring right there. That I think this piece, there's no instructions for this, but I'm pretty sure we pop this open and this is supposed to fit over this piece right here. Let me get that on there. The peg on the backpack is a very soft rubber, and the piece on the chute is very soft as well. Give me a second. So there we go. That piece just barely fits on that peg. I'm very curious to see if this is going to be able to support the weight of the figure whenever, like, I chuck him out a window. Like I said, I can't do it today, too much rain, but as soon as I get a good day, we'll make a short and we'll see how our jumper does whenever we toss him out a window. Now, the chute, as you saw, does come folded. So there's no instructions on how to fold and stuff it into the pack. So I'm just going to play this by ear and assume that we fold this up and then maybe... So I have basically... Here, let me show you what I did. It was squished in there a little bit. Oh man, look at that. That's a lot of parachute. Look at how wrinkled that is. Remember how nice that was just a few seconds ago? But I had basically folded it like this and then folded it down and then down and then down and then folded it in half and then tried to sort of roll it so that it fit into this pack right here. And for the most part, it does. It's still squished in there a little bit more than I would like it to be. Also, all of this twine doesn't really fit in there. That I feel like the netting, the rigging would have to hang out of the backpack like so. And that doesn't really look good. So you know what I'm gonna do? Unless I'm throwing him out a window with the chute open, this is coming off and this is going to come out, and hopefully that will unwrinkle over time because that looked so good and now it's all jacked up. So maybe once it deploys after a few times, those wrinkles will come out of it, because that nylon really does hold those creases way more than I want them to. So we're just going to put the backpack on him like this, and the chute will be something that we'll look at later. So let's take his helmet and his face mask off for now so that we can get the backpack on. And we pull his arms back, and at the front of the pack here, there is a belt release so that you can open this up. You can see there's also a back peg on there. And then this just fits on him. You get it up over his arms. You sink the anchor peg into his back. You can bring his arms down. And then just buckle the belt right there. And then we can also close the flap like that. So we buckle the belt like that. That has a nice fit to it. Not exactly tight, considering all the gear that he has on, but it looks good. You can sort of tug it down a little, but then that belt keeps coming undone. It's a very weak connection point up front. But there, we can get that done. He has his pack on. He has his chute on, a very big chute. I do like how it conforms to the back. Now, considering this was made for Ripcord and all of his gear, I'm very curious to see how this is going to fit on him versus how it fits on a repaint of Airborne. Of course, we could find out once Ripcord gets here that Ripcord and Airborne are basically the same, but I'm hoping that's not the case. So we put the helmet back on. We put the oxygen mask back on. Let's get that pegged in. Then we bring the visor down, and you have this large peg hole right here that this plugs into. And there you go. He's ready to jump. Now, the peg on this, unfortunately, is a chunky peg, and it's bigger than the pegs that peg into a figure's back. So you can't just take this and plug it into his back. If you want to plug this in somewhere, you have to plug it in to the side of his jump pack, of his parachute right there. But there you go. He looks really cool. I'm digging this. I think this looks good. Like I said, I am a big fan of these 60th anniversary figures. There's a lot of reuse with this one that I wish maybe didn't happen. But one other thing that I would have liked to have seen with this is that with the weapons that he comes with, maybe some sort of piece of plastic that you would have been able to hook on the back and then hook over the barrel to sort of give it a strap so that whenever he's in jump mode, he could just wear it around his neck and like have it hanging in front of his chest. Because I believe when they jump, that's all they do is they just wear their weapon hanging off their neck across their chest like this. It might be strapped in other places, but I'm pretty sure this is how they go out of the Hercules C-130 when they're taking the dive. And now for size comparison, here he is beside Hasbro G.I.Joe Classified Series Crimson Guard and Retro Cardback Scarlet. Here he is beside Valaverse Action Force Deluxe Sniper Blowback and Pandora. And I wanted to bring in Blowback just so you could see the difference in the camo face paint. And I initially thought I liked this one better, but now I really don't know, because I do like how this one is darker, but this one definitely gives a more like all painted up look to it. So I don't know, which one do you like? Here he is beside Hasbro Marvel Legends Blade and Daredevil Elektra. Here he is beside Lanyard Toys City Hunter Predator and Xenomorph Drone. Here he is beside Super 7 Deluxe Thundercats Lion-O and Deluxe Conan the Barbarian the Movie Conan. Here he is beside Mattel Masterverse Masters of the Universe New Eternia He-Man and New Eternia Skeletor from the Havoc Throne. And finally, here he is beside NECA Toys Dungeons & Dragons Warduke and Grimsword. So I really like the 60th anniversary figures. I don't think I've made any secret about that, but I have to admit this one is not my favorite. It's good, it's well done, but it's really just complete reuse of a figure that we've already had. And I know a lot of the 60th anniversary figures are reuse, but they at least so far have had new face portraits, new head sculpts. The fact that they didn't do that with this one kind of gives it that let's just throw some stuff in a box and see what happens feel. I do like the weapons that it comes with. I do like the accessories that it comes with. Having accessories from Ripcord, I mean, what else can you do? That's going to happen. That only makes sense. But just reusing the face sculpt from Airborne, giving it some new paint apps and hoping nobody notices, that's kind of lazy. They could have given us something new as far as the face portrait and the head sculpt goes. Now, having said that, I do like the accessories that it comes with. I love, like I said, I love the weapon system that he comes with, the 3 different versions of the same weapon. I really like that. G.I. Joe Classified needs to start putting those out more. I actually wouldn't hate if they made like a weapons pack based around those 3, where you get those 3 weapons, the accessories like the suppressor and all 3 magazines, maybe some blast effects, maybe some additional helmets and some backpacks, something like that, just like a little weapons pack that you could get for like 10 or 12 bucks. I think that would be really great, and I would buy like 5 of them right off the bat, I think. I also like the parachute, and I really, really hate that I wasn't able to chuck him out a window for this review, but like I said, the rain, the wind, I don't think it would do very well. I didn't want to do it in the weather that we have right now. But once I get a good day, I'm going to do it, and I'm looking forward to that. However, mashing the parachute up and stuffing it in his chute pack, that's a little... not a fan of that. I don't like how wrinkled it would get. I don't like how mushed it would become. You saw the seams that have formed already on the chute. I would have liked to have either maybe something a little bit less prone to developing those creases, or a better way of packing the chute. Hopefully Ripcord comes with instructions on how to do that, because this figure did not. The chute and the head sculpt are really the only complaints I have about this figure. And that's to be expected, because this is basically a reuse of Airborne, and I really liked Airborne. So do I like the figure? Yes, it's good, but it's not great. I still, to this day, think that the best one that we have for the 60th anniversary is that diver. That may change once the sniper shows up, but right now, I definitely think the diver is the best. Let me know what you think. Which one's your favorite so far of the 4 that have come out? Hello everyone, thank you for making it to the end. November is our annual fall fundraiser for Toys for Tots. Every year we host this drive where through your donations, Uncle Britt and I are able to go toy shopping to purchase toys for needy families to get them through the holiday season. It's a worthy cause and an organization that's very close to my heart. If you're interested in donating, please click the link in the description below or this video right here. And while you're in the clicking mood, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel immensely, and that's free. So remember, play well everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.